Welcome to USA Climbing's 2026 YETI National Championships. We are in Orlando, Florida, where the best climbers in the country have come to compete for a chance to become the national champion. We're coming to you from High Point Climbing and Fitness, so if you're in the area, come and check it out. I'm Megan Martin, and I'm joined by Jeremy Hoth, the USA Climbing's national head route setter and
national program manager.
Wears many hats, and we are so excited to be here. It's nationals, it's the lead semifinal, and we cannot wait to see all these athletes get out there and try their best on the wall. And we had a really exciting qualification round yesterday. We have a great competition in general, so many Olympians competing, some other big names, and let's take a quick look at the start list for today. These are the standings from the qualification round. We have 24 men. Remember, this is in reverse order of how they finished yesterday. So Sergey Lochno coming out 24th, did the best on the qualification routes yesterday. Some big names: Nathaniel Coleman, Colin Duffy, two of our Olympians, as also Jesse Grouper, another Olympian competing, which we haven't had this many Olympians in a while. Chris Sharma is back. He was here at the 2024 Nationals, so we're excited to see him put his hat in the ring again. And now we're going to take a quick look at the women's standing. Little difference here with the results from yesterday. There are 26 women. We have a couple athletes that are considered NIT, so they are not eligible to compete on the World Cup circuit because they are too young at the moment. So we've added extra quota, so you'll get to see 26 women compete. Some more Olympians here: Brooke Rabatu, Kyra Condi, and then we have a lot of other familiar faces that we've had in the past: Quinn Mason, Helen Stevens, Annika Shoemaker. So many good athletes. We're so excited, and we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back.
For me, motivation comes from the chance to go faster and faster. I find speed pretty addicting.
The power of we is all for one. It's all for you. It's always there for you. It completes your circle. It says you've got a team even when you're out there alone. And with Intermountain Health in your circle, you'll always have the care you need to live the healthiest life possible. That's the power of we. Intermountain Health.
You don't get a fire in your belly with a boring breakfast. You gotta light that sucker up with the good stuff. Kodiak stuff. Whole grains and a whole lot of protein stuff. Eating hearty sets the table for epic days ahead. Dig in and you'll see. It's wild what you and a real Kodiak breakfast can do. Proud sponsor of USA Climbing.
Out here. We play different. We don't play with whistles or referees. We play with adrenaline and euphoria. We play roughhouse with failure. We don't play games out here.
Welcome back to USA Climbing's YETI National Championships. We're so excited to get things started in a couple of minutes. We've got the lead semifinal tonight, or this morning. It's not nighttime yet. So many exciting athletes to see. Who are you excited to see?
Chris Sharma, obviously. I think it's funny. There's a lot of kids out there that maybe don't even know who he is. You know?
This is so true. But I do think that every now and then, I think more kids do actually know a bit more about some of the older generation of climbers. But yeah, honestly, wild to get to compete with him, right? Like, I competed with him when I was like 12 years old. And now, like, you've got kids that are 15, 16 competing with him, and it's been 20 years since then, since I competed with him, so so cool to have him back. He did make the semifinal at 2024 Nationals, so really exciting to see him back in the semifinal here today. But we are getting our first athletes out to go. For the women, we have Kestrel Pekevich, and for the men, Hugo Hoyer. Now, the athletes did get a observation time earlier, 6 minutes to look at the route before going back into the warm-up zone. So they've already looked at it, but they usually will refresh themselves. Kestrel already right onto the wall, clearly has a plan. They have about 40 seconds before they have to get onto the wall. And she is off with that first clip in place. Really dynamic start on this route.
Yeah, kind of a classic run and jump start, right? It's becoming more and more common these days.
And nice to have like a friendlier one. It didn't seem too complicated. The holds you're going to are pretty good. Hugo Hoyer is also on the wall. No stranger to the semifinal. Many a final as well. Was the national champion in 2023. So always great to see him back. Oh, and Kestrel just looked like she kind of underestimated that move there. You will always see the athletes look back up at the wall, right? Just to kind of see what they did. And we have Hugo just smoothly kind of working his way through the men's semifinal route. The qualification round routes for the men were pretty unforgiving, I would say. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. You know, we talked a lot about directives and objectives of this event from a setting perspective. And these semifinals, they get really fast. The qualifications was, you know, maybe harder than a typical qualification round that we've seen in the past. And this round is definitely pretty full gas, pretty quick.
Just
Hugo's
kind
making
of
quick work of it, though.
Yeah, he really is. Definitely no stranger for those uncomfortable positions. And kind of nice to have the qualification be a little harder, just giving the athletes a sense that they might need to expect more, because the semifinal round is always typically the hardest round of the competition, since we're dropping that number from 24. First couple of time will tell what happens. Lots of dual text on these walls too.
Absolutely.
Always don't give
of-
them feet.
Yeah, a lot of slipping.
As you see, Hugo was just standing on a small little screw on that slippery side of that EP hold. Oh, just a little out of control there. Who's looking really nice though the whole time. Nice.
They went pretty high up, but they're almost halfway.
Yeah, these walls too. I mean, they're not abnormally tall by any means, but they definitely look very tall in the room, and the angles are pretty steep.
Yeah, they kick back pretty fast, and they stay consistently steep for, you know, a large portion of the overall length. And the setters utilize that to their advantage, and the styles are very much dictated by the angle at which the holds are going on the wall.
Definitely no lack of challenge for the athletes on these routes, as Ellie is making good decisions over here on the women's route. She's currently in a high point position, as we've only seen one climber climb before her so far. Looking really confident and calm, which lead climbing is always really important. Oh, just lost it there. You know what, too? I feel like those Wacos, like, easily to just like kind of, I would say dry fire normally, but we are in Florida, so it's more of like a moist fire. Sorry for anyone who hates that word. Welcome to Florida. Yeah, just easy to slip out of them though sometimes if you don't hit them exactly right and get enough depth.
Totally. Those are a new release from Flathold. They've got like this weird dual texture, and it's kind of almost like a tri-texture that rolls into the grab a bit. For a lot of the athletes, they probably haven't climbed on those too much yet.
Definitely makes it more difficult. And our second man is out, Anderson Fuhrher, but we are going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with more action. Welcome back to USA Climbing's 2026 YETI National Championships. We are in the lead semifinal round, and on your right of the screen is Anderson Fuhrer making his semifinals debut at an Elite Nationals event and looking pretty calm so far. And on the left, we have Nora Small for the women, the third woman out so far in this competition, approaching the area where our first woman fell, Kestrel Pikevich, but looking really good and confident at the moment, trying to figure out how to get to that jib. Oof. Not a lot of feet for the women here. Really forcing them to stay on those handholds that they were using before that are, all of these holds are dual textured, so it's just
Yeah, this
kind of mean.
it's a good skill test. The whole
Yes.
whole bottom of the women's route is definitely like position based and technical climbing and understanding how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And the athletes have to kind of navigate that before getting into this first steep panel where it really turns into a much more powerful climb.
Which is so necessary, especially if you're going to start competing internationally, because most of the routes are like that. So getting that experience here is really important for these athletes. And Nora's doing a really good job kind of resetting here. I feel like she was a bit flustered through that lower section, so taking a moment to kind of reset is really important. Anderson, honestly, hasn't really looked too flustered. Took a pretty big breakdown on that black volume, which I think was a good idea before this next section. We saw Hugo Hoyer up here earlier, and so we'll see if Anderson can get through this section.
A little bit of chicken wing there in the elbow.
Yeah.
Looking pretty good otherwise.
And this next move is definitely committing and a bit powerful, as we saw. Oof.
Oh, come on.
Never a good sign when you're going backwards. Yes, go forward. That was a good, better decision making there, trying to get more points on the board. And again, early in the competition, it's so hard to really tell exactly where people need to get in order to make it into that top 8 later. And we have lots of really experienced athletes coming out later. So you never know what's going to happen, but we assume we'll see people closer to the top later. That's the goal, right, from a route setting standpoint.
Yeah, we hope so.
That's the hope, but you never know. You really just don't know. It is guesswork too.
Oh, I would say 75% of what we do is guessing. A lot of people give us too much credit. Informed guessing.
Oh, and unfortunately, Nora's going to be off the wall as well. Really nice climbing from her. Again, this is her first time in a semifinals at an Elite Nationals as well. So it's different. I mean, Youth Nationals, I think because there's such a competitive youth scene, I think it really prepares these athletes to come out here and compete. But it is still different. And I'm not going to lie. I think maybe having someone like Brooke Rabitou in the warm-up area with you might make it feel even bigger.
Yeah, I wonder if it could go like two ways, right? Like a lot of youth athletes have so much pressure to like continue performing at a high level within their youth career. And then I've spoken to some athletes that like when they come out to something, the next step, like they feel relieved of that pressure.
And I agree with that. I feel like, especially if you've consistently performed well in youth, there is more pressure to keep it up. And this is kind of a new playing field. Granted, because there are so many youth athletes here too, it probably kind of straddles that and feels, I don't know, it's hard to say. There's just so many good climbers these days. It really makes it kind of difficult. Next climbers up on the left, we have Francesca Hain. And on the right for the men is Ami Agato. And some more pretty young athletes. Francesca, only 16 years old. Also her first Elite Nationals, first semifinal. Ami Agato, we've seen him before. 20th at Team Trials in 2025 and 21st at 2024 Nationals. These are all in the lead discipline. And so nice consistency for Ami. It's always good. I think that's the first step, right, at these big competitions specifically. It's like get to the semi consistently, and then hopefully you can start getting to the final consistently.
Yeah. Definitely like building reps, right?
Yeah, it's so important. And honestly, if for nothing else but your mind and like the confidence that you can, right? I feel like that's a big part of being a successful athlete in any sport at such a high level.
Absolutely. You look at athletes like Brooke, you were saying earlier, and ISO is cool, calm, and collected, and she's put in a lot of work and effort and been in that situation a bunch of times. And I'm sure in her early days she was in ISO nervous around other athletes as well.
Yeah, for sure. And also like just starstruck. I feel like you
Yeah.
know there are some really big names at this competition, and people can be starstruck, and that's awesome. I mean, we're all fans, right? At the end of the day, we're all a fan of somebody, so it's pretty cool to be able to be in the warm-up zone with them and get to compete with them. Ami taking a second here to take advantage of the rest. I feel like I'm sure over the years these athletes have definitely learned that if there is a rest, take a moment because oftentimes there is not one.
Yeah, yeah. It's a fine line with the timer and you know, deciding to rest early or punch it through. But I think, yeah, the more experience they get and the more seasoned they are, they kind of see those moments to shake and relax their grip and recover mentally a little bit.
Really nice move there to that little like mini jug, little dynamic one arm movement. Technically, you could use two hands. Oh,
Oh,
Francesca just falling out of that little Waco.
I think both athletes that have gotten there have kind of underestimated how much that dual text rolls back in that hold.
Yeah, and on the angle too, right?
Mhm. Yeah, on a flat wall it's a jug, but
Yeah.
up there it's pretty slopey.
Which again is something with experience, right? Just like being able to know the hold and eye it up in a way that you know you're going to hold on to it. Things that can be learned for sure. You mentioned time earlier. Nice segue into the fact that we do have a 6-minute clock here for the athletes. So they have 6 minutes to complete the route. And if they go past that time, they will be called off to wherever they were when that 6-minute mark. That's usually not an issue. Though Jesse Grouper is competing, and he's the only person, not the only person, but he sometimes gets close to that
Yeah, he's got
6-minute deadline.
really strong second gear.
Oh my gosh.
Can motor forever.
So much endurance. I mean, when you see him climb, he'll look down at the clock. He definitely checks it out as he's going.
Getting through that 360.
Beautifully through that 360. No problems whatsoever. Read that perfectly, committed and executed just as he should. A little hesitation there. If he would have just popped to that next pinch, I think he would have been able to stay on a little bit better. But
Yeah,
good
that big
climbing.
volume is definitely like bulging out in his chest, and it makes it like that.
Yeah.
That sequence is, you know, it looks like you're like, oh, just grab it, it's right there, but your body's being forced away.
You're
from it, trying to
immediately
go.
like, wait a second, I need
Yeah.
to take a second. Oh
Yeah.
no, I'm in an open grip and I'm so pumped. What do I do?
Yeah.
Up next for the
Oh.
women, unfortunately, Angeli Chia did not make the establishing move of that run and jump, just missed it. So that will end her attempt. That's always devastating when that happens. This was her first time in semifinals at nationals. She did make the semifinals at team trials in 2024, but that is definitely not the way we want to come out and do the thing. But I will say, this happens to everybody. I mean,
sure.
not necessarily on a run and jump, but everybody's had a situation where maybe they've fallen before the first clip, at the first clip. It's not a fun learning experience, but she's not alone in that.
Yeah, for sure. And at this level of competition, I think these athletes should be prepared and expect anything to be thrown at them.
Most definitely. On the right, we have Quinn O'Francia stepping out, rocking his Vertical World jersey from Seattle, Washington. If you follow competitions, you've seen him many a time in all of the disciplines, actually. He was one of the people that, even when speed was taken out of the Olympics, was still actually doing boulder speed and lead for a bit. I can't remember if he's registered for speed at this competition, but definitely a really well-decorated climber. On the left for the women, we have Adelaide Scott starting her attempt of the women's semifinal route. Off to a great start so far. And we will be back with more climbing action after this quick break. Welcome back to USA Climbing's 2026 YETI National Championships. Adelaide Scott on the left, Quinn Francia on the right in this lead semifinal competition. Adelaide just changing that body position to get the clip here, as Quinn is actually looking a little uncomfortable moving through this section, but hopefully he figures out the next bit and can kind of reset. And Adelaide also, just like we've been talking about, undershooting and not really realizing how into the hold, how deep into the hold you need to go to actually be able to get control of it.
I was really rooting
that.
for her. She was climbing really
She
scrappy.
she was.
She was like bobbing her head and having a good time out there, it looked like.
And yeah, not a lot of second guessing, which is really good, especially when the difficulty of these routes is so intense. And of course, these athletes have been in the warm-up zone. They don't know what's happening. They can hear the crowd sometimes, but that's only guesswork, so they never really know where they need to go until they can take a chance to look at the leaderboard. Quinn Francia not reading that exactly correct.
I don't think he wanted to turn around.
I mean,
He was
it's
trying to match there.
I get that.
Yeah.
I'm not really a face out, feet first kind of person either, and I try to avoid that, but sometimes you have to do it. And it makes it easier to just kind of follow what's laid out for you. Up next for the women, we have Helen Stevens with a smile on her face as she approaches the women's lead semifinal route. Athletes only have one attempt on the route, 6 minutes of climbing to go as far as they can and hopefully ending up in a top. Really quickly into that run and jump. That looks like a really, I went out to do a little like thing for social media. I was like, should I do the run and jump? I don't know. It looks fun.
Did you do it?
No, I should have though, because it would have been fun.
It's a fun one. I was nervous. I was worried I'd fall.
I mean, also I will say, this is just maybe a hot take, but like running with a rope and wearing a harness versus a run and jump on a boulder, it does feel a little different. You're like, am I going to trip? Like,
For sure.
you have to think about it a little differently. Out for the men on the right, Ahad Aether from Seattle, Washington as well, as Quinn Francia was earlier. This is his first time in a semifinals competition at one of the Elite Series national events, and he is quickly moving through the opening sections, clearly remembered what he read earlier. Always fun to see who kind of like hangs out down there for a few more seconds than others. I feel like more and more you see people get right on these days. I don't know why. Maybe.
If they're anything like me, they don't have a long enough memory to remember anything.
They're like,
You're
whatever, I'll
"Ah,
figure it out when I
figure
get up
I
there."
was like, oh, yeah.
That's how I always was too. I feel like, do they call that ADD a little bit? That's how I always thought of it for me. I was like, I'm bored. I'll just figure it out when I get up there. Oh no.
Oh, no.
Helen off a lot earlier than would have been expected.
You can see the frustration. Looks like she might have made a
Yeah,
mistake.
she definitely did a little bit. I mean, so easy too. This is the first time everyone's on the route, and especially this women's opening section, like you were saying, it's very body position intensive. No extra feet really. You're being forced to like stand in awkward positions on those dual text holds.
Yeah.
So if you move a little too quickly, you can kind of mess up and just slip.
Yeah, really unforgiving positions.
Ahad setting up for this jump. We've seen done mostly with one arm
Ooh,
catch.
interesting.
Yeah, interesting to go with the left hand, right? We've seen a lot of people jump with that right hand instead.
Yeah.
It looked good for him though.
Yeah, and it's a jug they're going to, so
Yeah.
easy to hot swap on it.
Yeah, those kind of movements, the only thing is you don't want to like overthink it, right? Like I feel like sometimes the longer you wait to set up for the jump, the more you're like, wait, I'm making this jump bigger than it is. It's actually okay. Next up for the women from Bozeman, Montana, Claire Ho.
Chloe.
Oh my gosh, Chloe. Yeah, I read it wrong. That's so funny. That is called a little bit of dyslexia from me. This is also her first time in a semifinal. She was 38th at 2024 nationals in the lead discipline, so really exciting. That's a big jump up for her. I'm sure she's really psyched to be in this competition today. I feel like these events specifically, you just always want to get to the next round. Who really cares about where you place to get to that round? It's just all about getting into it because it's just so competitive. So I always love it when it's someone's first time in a new round of competition, and she's really doing a great job committing to all these movements and not really second guessing herself.
Yeah, so it's pretty good.
Ahad took a really long break there. He's only got 3 minutes left, but still plenty of time.
Yeah, he was
Milking
switched
that
hands
rest.
on that jug, rested a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I always wonder as like somebody that has never competed, like if there's a strategy in like placing, like squeaking in, so you save energy.
Oh, I don't know
It
if
feels like a
I don't,
slippery slope.
No,
Feels
I don't
really
think
dangerous.
it. Yeah, I don't think it goes
Yeah.
that far. I don't think someone's like, I'm gonna give it 75% and see if I can squeak into the next round. But I think the biggest thing is it's like learning how to not pay attention to the number of your ranking and just kind of knowing that you start over each day. Obviously, there's countbacks if there's ties, but like keeping that out of your head, it's like cross that bridge when we get there kind of thing.
Yeah.
Great climbing from Chloe Ho. Off a little earlier than she probably expected, but this women's route has proved to be pretty tricky at the beginning. Kind of zapping energy early and getting them, like you said, kind of uncomfortable, and then all of a sudden you're pumped. I think.
I think there's a lot of mental fatigue that comes into play in that first handful of draws. Like the insecurity and like the nerves probably get ratcheted up quite a bit. They're probably over gripping a little bit, getting a little tired than they should be.
I think it'd be kind of cool that if we had those straps that can measure your heart rate, because I feel like at the opening section, everyone's heart rate's probably racing a little more than expected, especially because the same way like when you're warming up sometimes I think that like you expect things to be easier than they are, and the minute they switch to being a little harder, it's hard to not have your heart rate spike.
Yeah,
and I think that's like a big thing, is kind of trying to keep it calm and controlled. And like the more experienced athletes, I think, obviously have been able to figure out how to do that better. But yeah, it's kind of wild.
Yeah, and I'm sure, like you said earlier, like the nerves of being an ISO with former Olympians.
Always Olympians. They're never former.
It's got to be nerve-wracking. I'm sure their heart rates are elevated coming out of that. So.
Totally. Up next for the men, we have Aiden Harris on the right. And on the left of your screen for the women, Isabella Orner. This is Aiden's first Elite Nationals and first Elite semifinal as well. When I saw him earlier, I referred to him as Baby Aiden because I've personally known him since he was so little. I couldn't believe that he's this big now. Kids, they grow. It's wild.
Yeah.
We've seen Isabella Orner in the semifinal before. At team trials, she placed 12th in 2025, so exciting to see her back out here. Narrowly missed it in 2024 at nationals, so already an increase from the previous competition. And we will be going to a quick commercial break, but we'll be back with more action very soon. Welcome back to USA Climbing's 2026 YETI National Championships. We are on the way with the lead semifinal. Right now on the right of your screen, Aiden Harris just caught that first pretty committing move for the men's semifinal. There's another one coming up soon that we've seen only Ami Agado get through, that 360 move. We've seen a couple of the athletes try to do something different there and avoid 360, which hasn't really worked out. So we'll see if Aiden makes his way up there and gets an attempt at it. And on the left of your screen, Isabella Orner is walking to check in with the judge about her score, see if she agrees with the points she was awarded. And our next athlete for the women is on her way out, Isabella Case from Newton, Massachusetts. This is her first time competing at Elite Nationals and also first time making it into the semifinal. That's always fun. Your first elite competition and already in the second round.
Yeah, very impressive.
Yep, it's the best way to start. Then I feel like when it's like that, the rest is kind of cherry on top, which is
Yeah.
great because then you can, I personally think, perform your best when you've already kind of checked off your first goal.
Yeah, you've already exceeded your own expectations.
Yes.
You're like, oh, I'm just going to go out there and have fun.
Fortunately, hopefully. The whole goal is fun. If you're not having fun, personally, I think that you should take a break from comps if it's no longer fun, because they need to be fun. Obviously, they're serious, but they're also fun.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're rock climbing.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's supposed to be a good time. Aiden Harris just taking another look at the men's route. Kind of bobbled off a little earlier. Was hoping to see him on that like 360 move. Looked really good on the climb. A few bits of hesitation with the footwork, but we'll have to see how that all plays out for him in the standings. And Isabel Case getting through kind of the first tricky body position, foot placement section for the women. It's so interesting, right? That little jib is like constantly out of reach.
She's not even on it.
I
She's
know.
hanging on to the no-touch.
Nice. So
That's
clearly
awesome.
good pinch strength. We
Yeah.
like that for her.
Yeah. The humidity probably helps a little bit on that one, actually.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, you definitely, with the dual text, you want a little bit of moisture. On the right, we have Brendan Beauchamp walking out for his attempt at the men's lead semifinal route.
Be interested to see what he does. He's one of the smaller competitors in the men's field.
5'5", plus
he's-
2 wingspan.
He's really springy, though.
He is so springy. Yeah, I often see him in the bouldering competition as well. One of those athletes who definitely excels at both of those disciplines. He was 22nd at 2025 team trials and 11th at 2024 nationals. So trying to find his way into the final. We'll see if he can make that happen today.
Yeah, I think he's a very capable climber to do a finals, to make it into a finals.
Most
Just watching him
definitely.
move through this lower section is so smooth and efficient.
And he was in the bouldering final at 2024 nationals. So especially since the beginning, this route is kind of more bouldery, wouldn't you say? I feel like he looks pretty comfortable in a lot of the positions so far. Isabel Case making good work over here on the women's route, about to get to that section where we've seen a lot of the women kind of underestimate the Wacos here. Also should probably clip soon, just because the clipping stances are not necessarily great once you get up onto that roof. I think this is a little difficult.
Yeah, see what has him kind of going back and forth.
Not the best position.
Oh,
Ugh,
boy.
I hate when that happens. It's such a bummer because it's like it is and clipping can be considered a move. It's just annoying because we don't get any points for that move.
Well, especially with this, more modern style, if you've kind of gotten yourself in a position where you're unhappy with the clipping position, you go for the next one, like, it's even worse.
Yeah,
And a lot of times, reversing that position is even harder.
yeah. Down climbing is generally very hard to do on these routes. Brendan just eyeing up that next section as he rests a little bit. Not too long of a rest, though. I think that's probably appropriate. Nice and
Still
quick.
moving really smooth.
Yeah, really good tempo here for him.
Looks like he's getting a little pumped right now.
Yeah, definitely. You could see he was trying really hard to make sure he wasn't like overshooting any of those holds too, especially with the jibs on those dual text cheetah holds. Now he can breathe for 1 second. Just one,
Before the campus 360.
right?
Oh,
Oof.
wow.
Wow.
Brave.
Really, really great show of his strength and springiness, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Now the question is, can he recover enough to get through this 360 move?
The hold he's on is pretty good. And the next one he's going to is pretty good. But the
Looks like
movement-
he's-
Oh, wow. Hot
So
spot.
many of them are trying to just match and go right hand. Huh? I mean, it works.
Yeah.
I think as long as you're efficient enough to make it work right away, it's okay. But then again, now having to match again, so it's just extra energy. Left of your screen, Annika Shoemaker taking a moment to refamiliarize herself with the route that the athletes previewed earlier. He jumped quicker than we saw Ami, but wow. I feel like the way he just came off the wall really gives you a sense of how much that point of the volume is pointing out, because it almost looked like it pushed him like completely off.
It's already a steep wall, and then you add like this big protruding three-dimensional thing in your chest, and so like jumping up becomes really hard, and the automatic thinks it's forcing you away from the wall.
I gotta say too, like especially him as a shorter climber, like he's already gonna have to probably loosen his grip a little bit on the pinch in order to get enough around to the next pinch, and that's like so much to think about that far into the route specifically.
Yeah, already pumped and rattled, and heart rate's up and elevated.
Yeah. Annika looking really smooth so far in the opening of the women's semifinal route. She looked really good yesterday on the qualifiers, very calm. Also another athlete who competes in the boulder discipline, and always nice to see those athletes in the lead discipline as well.
Yeah, it's been really cool since basically since Tokyo, like the crossover. A lot less athletes are specializing in single discipline. And, it's probably a good thing for their
mental and overall. And I agree. I think that the two disciplines, especially with the way the route setting is now, like the style of climbing, I think they complement each other a lot better than they did, say, like 30 years ago. I feel like it was so different. Lead climbing was so endurance-based, and boulder was so powerful. But now they're kind of the same. It's just, do you have power endurance in general? See if Annika can make this happen. Undershot it as well. Wow, this is really proving to be a sticking point for the women, unfortunately.
It looked like she's still on a bolt hanger a little bit, too.
Oh, I missed we'll have to see if that reflects.
They didn't call her off, so
yeah.
Maybe not.
On the right of your screen, Nathan Monti, another familiar face in these national competitions, making his way through the opening moves of the men's semifinal route. He was 10th at this event in 2024. He was 2024. No. So nice to see him back in the semifinal. And in 2023, he was 6th, so he's been in the final before, looking to make his way back into it if possible. Out of Orange County originally, but lives in Salt Lake City. It's often on Olympian Natalia Grossman's Instagram. They're good buddies and make funny videos together.
And he's just a sweet guy.
He is very sweet. His mom's here volunteering. She always volunteers, which, if you have an athlete in USA Climbing, we always need volunteers.
They're the backbone of success competitions.
We could not do it without those volunteers. So next female athlete, Yelia Southern out of Marietta, Georgia. This is her first lead semis at a nationals. She was 9th in team trials in Boulder, so this is her first time in the lead discipline in a semifinal. Exciting to see her here. Nice moves there from Nathan Monti, setting up for that difficult section we have seen only a couple athletes get through, as Yelia is also looking really good on the women's route. Let's see if Nathan can figure it out here. He's looking a little indecisive. That jump out move to the Gaston is definitely very committing, takes a lot of power. And I feel like it's like one of those where it just trips you up for a second. Right into the 360 though. Nicely done. Good flip there.
The interesting choice to do the jump versus using the foot.
Yeah,
you
especially
tell which climbers rely on a little more like power.
Yeah, and he's a little taller too, so like I was surprised that he jumped like that too. Let's see if we can see someone actually stick this pinch. Oh, you couldn't be closer. Really good climbing from Nathan Monti. And with that, we're going to take a quick commercial break and be back to all the action. Welcome back to USA Climbing's 2026 YETI Climbing National Championships. Nathan Monty just walking off the wall, and coming out from the warm-up zone, Chris Sharma, one of climbing's most famous, decorated climbers of all time. So many accolades. He's done so much for the sport, so much developing,
Still is.
setting standards. 44 years old, 44 years young. And back out for the men's lead semifinal. He made the semifinal in 2024, which was the first time he competed in a really long time. And I do have to say, there have been a lot of athletes that have come back and done competitions, and getting into the semifinal does not always happen. So obviously one of the best climbers of all time, but still so impressive to be able to get back in back-to-back semifinals with all these young athletes that climb on plastic all the time. You know, he spends so much time climbing outside. So, and you know, they have their parts that are the same, climbing outside and inside, but it is a little different with the style changing, and I think he's done a great job adapting. Very cool.
100%.
On the left, we have Lila Kotke making her way through the opening of the women's route. This is her first time in the semifinal at an elite nationals, and she's looking quite calm, cool, and collected. So we'll see what she makes of the semifinal route. Chris also has a really good tempo going right now.
Interesting.
Yeah, that nicely into the pinch. Really good on his feet. He definitely said he was a little nervous yesterday, which, I mean, makes sense. Everybody is. And
it's cool that he feels nervous, you know? It's like, makes him human.
but I mean, like, especially, no. That is, oh man. Just overshot that a bit to the right. Darn. And jumping is definitely something that he's really good
I know,
at.
I was thinking,
he
like,
jumped too
he's gonna
much.
house this whole
Yeah, I
bowl
know.
problem. Yeah.
I feel like he just like overshot it. Yeah, I think especially if you're not doing competitions all the time, it's hard not to be like a little nervous of the unknown too, just because
sure.
you haven't flexed that muscle as much. But again, like, so impressive to get into the semifinal.
And I think to your point, like, the style changes over the years so much, and it's really cool to see him back out there.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be back again. Definitely bummed that he missed that jump there, because I really think he just overshot it a bit.
Yeah.
Just a little too much. Too much power.
They could have put it like 3 feet further and
Yeah,
it would have been fine.
yeah, exactly. Lila Kotke also coming off of the women's route, where we've seen so many of the women just kind of undershoot that jump to the Waco. It's really, really a hard move for the women right now, and it'll be cool to see.
Yeah,
See if someone can break that.
Seems
Hopefully we'll see
bottleneck.
Chris at the national team trials. He's definitely qualified in order to like compete at that event, so maybe he'll come back and do that one. It would be great to see him.
Yeah, on that point, I mean, all these athletes are. The top 30 will be invited to team trials, you know, so anybody that's in the semifinal will have a shot at U.S. national team still.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's not just based on this event, it's based on both of them, so the journey doesn't end here. On the right, Jaden Perez taking a few moments to refamiliarize himself with the route. He was 5th at team trials in the lead discipline and 23rd at 2024 nationals, so getting more consistency with another semifinal under his belt. And we know he has been in a final at one of these elite events, so we'll always see him there again. We'll have to see how he does on the men's route. Clearly a lot of this is coming down to route reading, and I feel like commitment in the moment on the moves that are a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, and just keeping it together. I mean, the route gets so hard so quick. And the bottom's not trivial. I mean, the boys are climbing through it like really well, and they're making it look easy, but it's not easy down there. And then they get to those sections that are really rampant, so not only are they having to not only are they physically tired, they're having to get their heads together and then turn it back on. Jaden's another one of those kids that's really sweet as well. He's in Salt Lake City a lot with the training center, and He was always asking questions and like saying thank you for
He
setting and
is,
stuff.
yeah. I feel like he talked to me a lot at team trials actually, which I mean I don't talk to all of the athletes like that much because I'm normally in this little box area, but he's super sweet. I totally agree. Definitely looking pretty good right now. Just gonna set up for this jump. Right to it. Just aim for the center, right?
Yeah, yeah. He kind of dangled it. A lot of the
He
guys
did.
were kind of like manhandling it. It's like
Little
looked
dangle.
cool. Yeah, it looked really casual.
Also not the tallest of athletes, 5'6", with a -2 wingspan. So I feel like we see a lot of 5'8" and above for the men.
Yeah.
So it's
definitely.
always interesting to see what the ones on the shorter side, how they approach certain movements.
Yeah, it's one of those things in life they kind of have to deal with, right? Like getting things off the top shelf of the cupboard's like always gonna be a little challenging for them too.
I mean, that just means you've been climbing longer in your life, right? Like if you can't reach things, you gotta
Just
climb
figure
for
out
them.
how to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's only a benefit. Especially like when athletes are younger, I feel like having to adapt in such a
100%.
way when they're, especially if you're like really small. Like I remember when Colin specifically was like so much smaller than the other athletes in his category.
Yep.
There was a lot to adapt to and learn, and I think it only serves you better.
100%.
Later.
I think Colin is largely the climber that he is today because having to overcome that and understand how to move through things and figure things out.
Exactly.
And even Brooke as well.
Yeah.
Brooke,
Totally.
the younger was not as jumpy and just worked on it really hard. And
Big jumper now.
big jumper, yeah. Really good at jumping.
He was really smooth through that section. I feel like he did a really good job keeping his feet on. We've seen a lot of the athletes kind of cut and jump and nice into that 360.
Yeah, it's really good here.
Oh, no, foot slip. Ugh. Nice climbing though from Jaden Perez. Seen a lot of the men who've gotten to that position kind of struggle right after that. So still looking for someone to get that left-hand pitch. We're going to go to a quick commercial break and be right back with more climbing. Welcome back to USA Climbing's 2026 YETI National Championships. We are well into the lead semifinal for both the men and the women. And up next for the men, we have Sebastian Duran just coming out of that archway, getting a second to look at the route, refamiliarize himself with what he plans on doing. This is his first time in an elite national semifinals, also first time competing at an elite nationals at the ripe old age of 17. And he's getting ready to take his attempt on the men's semifinal route. This opening section for the men, Jeremy was saying that they're climbing it so well that they're making it look easy, but it's actually a bit more difficult than they're making it look. But so many of the men, it's been fun to watch them really make good decisions down here and get into those jumpier, cruxy sections of this men's route.
Yeah, like you were mentioning on the women's route, there's really no feet where you want them down there for the men's.
So similar theme. You route setters love a theme. Quinn Mason on the left of your screen, taking a second to remember what she wants to do on this route. She was the 2021 national champion in this event. Last year in 2020, or I guess it was over a year now since we moved the competition, but in 2024 Nationals, she placed third. Just taking a quick second to make sure she has her feet in the right place for that run and jump. And she's off, and we'll see what she does on this route. Hopefully she can get through those Wacos. We haven't seen anyone do that. Definitely an experienced enough of a climber, and specifically a competition climber, to hopefully figure that section out, because we really want to see the next few moves.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to see what happens next.
I'm sure the setters are feeling a little bit nervous right now.
Yep, they're just, don't go over there. They're probably sweating, especially because we're in Florida. Granted, the weather's been nice here. Personally,
really
I
nice,
am
actually.
a natural. I grew up in Florida. I'm a Floridian. I don't live here now, but really fun to be back here in Florida at High Point Climbing and Fitness. Central Florida has never had a gym like this, never had rope walls like this. It's absolutely incredible to have a facility like this, and we're so thankful that they chose to host this event. And so far, everyone's having such a great time and loving the walls, the angles. Can't wait to see the boulders later in the week. Both Quinn and Sebastian looking great. And we want to take a second to shout out our hold partners. Thank you so much to 360 Holds, Artline, Blocks, Blue Pill, Cheetah, EP Climbing, Expression, Flat Hold, Rock City, Simple, Squadra, Super, Technic, and Vezi. Couldn't do this without you. Those holds look beautiful out there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep supporting. Ooh, caught that 360 a little low, but
Oh,
looking okay.
inverted.
Oh,
Quinn setting up for the jump here.
no
Or-
jump.
Oh,
Oh, no! Wow, that was shocking.
Yeah, she looked so good on it.
She really did. And she did it more statically, and then ended up popping off a little at the end, and I feel like that surprised her. Honestly, Brooke did something like that on one of the qualifiers yesterday. When she caught the handhold, like her foot popped off and she swung so much, she was able to hold it, but like I talked to her after and she was like surprised by it, and that just was a similar thing. I feel like that just happened to Quinn. I think this angle too, I feel like everyone's underestimating that angle.
It's really steep. Yeah.
And their route was not there yesterday. The men's route was in that angle, right? So maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, I think it's unfamiliarity with that hold. I mean, those holds they're
pretty
new. And again, that the way they're designed, like the dual texture kind of rolls back and slowly disappears into the actual texture in the back. I think a lot of them just aren't getting deep enough into the hold and underestimating like the hold biting back a little bit, you know.
On the bright side, likely no one's climbed on those holds at all leading up to this. So like it's like they're all kind of dealing with the same surprise.
They're
At
not brand new, but they are
New enough.
relatively new. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a good percentage of likelihood that they're all in the same boat of like, oh, surprise.
Yeah, they're like, what is this? Oh my god.
Up next for the women, Alexandra Inglaterra from Denver, Colorado, 17 years old. If you watch the 2025 team trials, she was 7th, and at 2024 nationals, she was 13th. So again, one of those younger athletes, 17 years old, working on that consistency of getting into the second round and the final round of competition, and kind of trying to make that a familiar place. On the right for the men, Austin Wrights from Salt Lake City, Utah. He was 36th at 2024 nationals and 9th at team trials. So also getting more consistency. 20 years old. Really trying to make sure he can see the top of the hold with that little jump there. Alexander moving pretty quickly through this opening section. Lots of confidence.
Heel hooking on the no text there.
Always fun. Keeping it spicy. making sure your shoes are sticky. Yeah, we'll see if she can make it through those Wacos. Very clear crux sections right now for both of the routes, but I would expect that the top is still quite taxing as well.
They definitely don't lighten up. We talked a lot about the objectives for setting this week with the team, and their goals were kind of shooting for World Cup level difficulty, and maybe there's a little bit of a bottleneck here, but it does seem like they're kind of hitting the marks.
Exactly. Always trying to
There we go.
prepare the athletes. Nice. And I could hear a big roar from the crowd there as Alexandra becomes the first athlete to actually stick it into that Waco. Oh, no. Oh, man. And it's wild because this is one of those positions where, like, I'm sure in her head right now, she's like, oh, no. But, like, that actually is big for
Yeah.
this route right now because we
Huge.
haven't seen anyone, one, stick that hold. And then she was able to get some advancing. Likely she'll get advancing movement. It'll depend on what the judges give her to that next hold. So should have a plus on the end of her score if they score it the way that I think they will. And
Yeah, I
from
would
what
hope
I'm
they
seeing,
do.
I see
Yeah.
a 16 plus for her. So this puts her in the number 1 spot, and she won't know until she gets a chance to look at the results. But for now, she's sitting in that first place spot with
A little over halfway.
a little over halfway. So we'll have to see what happens for her. I'm sure she'll be pleasantly surprised at least when she sees the scores.
Yeah.
But time will tell what happens. Austin getting into this kind of slow after the jump, this slowed down section, lots of precise footwork and body position on these dual text holds. Luckily, it looks like those feet aren't dual text, are they?
No, they're definitely
Yeah,
not.
that's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
That was nice.
Gotta
Nice
give them texture
gift.
somewhere, right? Yeah. Yeah, from the settings perspective, we refer to this as like pace changing, and we talked
pace
about
changing.
like
I like that.
heart rate and stuff, and getting athletes to get like adrenaline going and actually get their heart rates up intentionally, and then testing them to see if they're capable of like taking a breath and slowing it down, and maybe lowering that heart rate a little bit and collecting themselves.
On the left, Evelyn Orton from Dallas, Texas. This is her first time. Whew, wow.
Wow.
Sorry, just getting distracted over here by Austin making some intense moves. Evelyn's first elite nationals and first elite semifinals. Oof. She's definitely been making waves at some of the competitions for the last couple years. Just even at the young age of 15, really given some of those older women, not older, but like the women that have been competing for the last few seasons that are like in their late teens and early 20s.
Older for climbing.
Yeah, not old like me. But she's really been, giving them a run for their money at these competitions. So really exciting to see her out on the elite stage.
Yeah, Evelyn's very, very focused.
Oh, yes.
She's one of those athletes that's dedicated and like asks a lot of questions. Worked with her at a youth camp 2 years ago, and it was just really impressive to see her try hard and be a good athlete, but then also come to the coaching staff and the setters and ask like, what can I do to be better?
Yes, she's very determined for
Yeah.
sure. So I'm sure we'll be seeing her name a lot in the future, but it is the first time we're seeing her here. She was second at Youth Nationals in lead this past season and third in Boulder. And then the previous year, 2024, she won the Boulder event at Youth Nationals and was ninth in lead. So definitely getting some world championships, youth world championship experience after making the U.S. team on the youth circuit. So
A little stressed here, but
figuring it out,
Yeah.
breathing and moving through. We had these little like athlete forms for them to fill out, and she was mentioning how Erin McNeese is her favorite athlete. For those who don't know, an Olympic athlete in the Paris Olympics from Great Britain, really impressive athlete. And she was saying that one of the things she likes is that she wasn't like a youth prodigy per se, but she's worked really hard and like clearly started being quite the competitor and someone that is a contender
yeah.
all the time. Yep. And Evelyn, looking the calmest we've
Yeah.
looked here, right? We've only seen Alexandra stick this move, but definitely she did not look very calm going into this next week. Oh, wow. Showcasing some flexibility here from Evelyn as she will move into that
Okay, wow.
establishing movement position, trying to keep making her way through. Oof.
Super creative.
A little crossed up here.
Yeah, not at all what the setters had intended here, but
Really good
really
effort.
cool. Yeah, really creative.
Again, she will be very surprised to see what those scores look like. And with that, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with more action. Welcome back to USA Climbing's 2026 YETI National Championships. We are well into the lead semifinal event, and it's been a low scoring round so far, but still, I think some good separation. We've seen a little bit of a breakthrough on the women's route, which is exciting, having some of the athletes get into that Waco section, and Evelyn Orton just making a really good attempt within the roof getting a little crossed up there, but it was
Making progress.
exciting
Yeah.
no matter
Yeah,
what.
still going higher. It's good.
And now we have Eva Mijares up for the women. This is her first time in an Elite Nationals semifinal, in an Elite Nationals period. 17 years old, from Dallas, Texas. As always, we have lots of Texas athletes. Good programming down there.
It's until they move to Salt Lake City and leave us.
I mean, everybody grows up and has to move. Or they don't. They can stay where they are. Whatever you want to do. I like that regrip on the pinch she just had with her right hand.
Yeah, she chose to definitely lose the thumb catch, but get her hips and shoulders up a bit higher to make the distance closer to the next jib.
Yeah, it
pretty
was
smart.
really smart. It was such a subtle movement, but really smart.
Yeah, even those couple inches are going to help a lot.
She looks so calm.
Yeah.
Actually the most calm I've seen anyone look so far.
She has the Annie eyes there.
I was about to say,
Yeah,
oh my gosh,
focused.
yeah. I'm noticing too, she is so precise with her foot placements. Wow. I'd love to see her on a slab. Maybe we'll get to. We'll see.
Uh-oh. Same
I was
thing
gonna
happens earlier this clip.
Oh no, the clip.
She sees it. Oh, yeah.
I think earlier the other athlete was a little higher, but this is still really awkward.
Yeah.
Even if you can clip in this kind of a position, it's just takes so much brain power, heart racing. Oh, this was a better decision though, for sure, coming back down here. Stressing me out though.
Yeah, I know. Same. My hands are sweating.
I was like, breathe. I can't breathe. Let's hope she clips right now. Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. And we're back on track.
This is
Take
probably
a
gotta be really
second,
stressful for her,
reset.
too.
Yeah. And those Wacos are coming up. So
Yeah. It's a lot of time and a lot of energy spent right there.
regripping on her left hand is not making me feel great, but I like this heel hook.
Oh.
Just a little bit short there. I feel like too much time spent with that clip, getting a little frazzled, and then that heel hook kind of pulled her down a bit, unfortunately. I liked the idea of it, right? Because then you're not coming out on the wall there, but sometimes they pull you down.
Yeah,
And it
opting
kinda
for
popped a
security
little.
over going for it. Yeah, it's
Have to see what happens with our next athletes. And a quick thank you to our wonderful sponsors, Intermountain Health, The North Face, Kodiak, True Blue, Waltopia, and YETI. Thank you for supporting USA Climbing. We love being able to have these events, and our athletes love all your stuff. We love getting stuff too. And yeah, thank you so much. Couldn't do it without you. Please keep supporting us. And with that, we have some more athletes coming out. Maya Madare. It's funny, I was talking to her earlier and I was like, how you doing? She was like, good, I'm a little sick. I've got a little tweak, but honestly, that's better for me. I feel like I perform better when I don't feel as great. I was like, I love this.
oh, okay.
Lean into it.
Yeah.
You looked great yesterday. Let's keep on moving.
Yeah, take the momentum. And Maya's a seasoned competitor. She's been doing this
Exactly.
for so long. What's a little tweaked finger and a
Cool,
little
yeah.
illness?
She's got it. She's got it. It's true though. Sometimes having to deal with other things going on keeps you from overly stressing about the competition, and I think can open the door to just climb.
Yeah.
And I feel like for her specifically, I get how that would be better, because I do think sometimes she can get a little overworked up about things when she's plenty talented, she's plenty seasoned. So yeah, I hope this all works out that way for her.
That pressure gets kind of relieved because you're like,
Yeah.
well, what are the expectations? I'm
Yeah.
just going to go out there and have fun and do it.
Just gives you the chance to relax a little bit more. yeah, like you were saying, obviously, very seasoned competitor, many nationals, semifinalists, finalists in both disciplines.
Yeah, a bit of World Cup experience.
Lots of World Cups, also in both disciplines. Was 20th at 2024 nationals and 9th at 2025 team trials. Oof.
She doesn't really bring
There
that
we
foot
go.
up. There you go.
Nice reassess. Originally from Austin, Texas, but has been living in Colorado recently, which has been cool to see her around. And on the right of your screen, Vale Everett just stepped out for his attempt at the lead final. Also, another very familiar face, was the national champion in Boulder in 2024 and 8th in the lead competition that same year. So
Yeah, I remember talking to him after that. He was so tired. The grueling, and for a lot of these athletes, they'll have, a rest day tomorrow during speed, and they'll roll straight into Boulder qualifiers on Saturday.
And I have this weird memory of like the schedule being a little different in 2024, and I think that's why they were more tired. I think it's now a little bit, I could be wrong, but I'm having this weird memory that like it was a little more
There was
climbing.
something about the boys having less time between.
Yeah.
Oh, because the discipline or the genders were split on the boys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was a little different. So this is a little nicer for recovery for the athletes that are doing both the boulder and lead discipline specifically.
Yeah, they'll have at least a full day of rest.
Yeah, which we love that for them. Rest is best. Maya into that first Waco looks pretty comfortable here. We just got to see if she can be prepared for the next one.
Yeah.
Caught it high, which was very smart. Oh, then coming out of it. Oof, this is going to be interesting with the results, just to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, I think from the setter's perspective, you always hate to rely on countbacks.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily it is there to even things out at the end, but yeah, that's not how you want to shake out in the end.
But we're all human. Nobody's perfect. This isn't science. This isn't a science. Vale is looking a little shakier than I would have expected. Let's see if he can like kind of reset in this next section for a moment before setting up for that 360.
He's definitely more uncomfortable just size-wise in these boxes in that
makes
section.
sense, yeah.
Because he is so tall and he's got such a big reach.
6'2 plus 4.
Yeah.
But
boy.
already looking a little more comfortable
Yeah.
here if he can like reset for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And though he is like quite seasoned, he's still only 19 years old. That's pretty young
Yeah.
by most standards in sports. Ooh, that was quite a catch there. He kind of like dipped down when he did the 360. It kind of made me nervous.
Yeah, he went under
Ooh,
from
this
like a lot
heel
of the
hook.
other.
Oh, and
there
our
we
first
go.
athlete to get to that left-hand pinch, getting that establishing movement on that hold. So great climbing from Vale Everett. We're going to go to a quick commercial and be right back with more climbing. Welcome back to USA Climbing's 2026 YETI National Championships. We are in the lead semifinal. On the left of your screen, Olympian Kyra Condi is making her way through the opening section of the women's lead semifinal route. Getting a little flustered here and kind of
a lot of
unsure of
sequencing.
how she wanted to do that quick change you saw that big exhale there, trying to take a second to reset. And on the right of your screen, Ellis Ernsberger, honestly kind of flying through these opening moves. He was on the wall and moving really quick. Both of these athletes, very seasoned, no strangers to a semifinal or a final in this discipline. So hopefully we can see them get through some of the sections and movements that we haven't seen some of the athletes get to yet. Kyra into that Waco, very powerful athlete. Kyra isn't doing bouldering anymore, but has been one of kind of her bread and butter for a long time. So cool to see her focusing solely on lead climbing. A little bit stuck here.
There we go, not even hesitating.
Really good decision making there. Oh, I'm getting more hope about seeing more of this route now.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of talks in the setting week and last night where the setters were tweaking these ruts about maybe not seeing a top and that being okay.
Totally. I mean, semifinals historically, not notoriously, it's a little negative. Historically, the hardest round of competition, so it's okay sometimes to not have a top. Right now, I'm excited with just getting more moves in that roof, and Kyra Condi just gave us that show there, so I'm sure she'll be pleased when she sees the scores. Right now, she's probably like, oh gosh, but just because athletes, like, you get it in your head that people have likely gotten onto the head wall, I feel like always. That's just how you feel. Two-hand approach there for Ellis Ernsberger. I like that. Protects the shoulder. For me, I think that way as an old person. I don't know about you.
Oh, 100%. My shoulders are not what they used to be.
I did a move in the gym the other day, and this kid was like, wow, you made that look so good. I was like, I'm going to pay for this for the next 2 weeks.
Self-preservation is rather fear of dying.
I won't be doing that again. Ellis looking nice and calm through this slower pace section. For the men's route, be really cool to see if he can make it up into that second pinch area where we saw Vale Everett get to. Another athlete who's been in many a semifinal, many a final. The lead discipline being his strongest discipline for sure. If you join our broadcast tomorrow, you will see his brother, Merritt Ernsberger, phenomenal speed climber. It's a family affair with these two. Still looking pretty calm. A little shakier now, but I feel like he's still got it together. Just, having watched him climb over the years, I'm looking still pretty good.
No.
Oh, the commentator's curse. I apologize.
That was very uncharacteristic of Ellis, too.
I shouldn't have said that. It's my fault. It's not his. It's totally mine. Adrian Akiko on the left side of your screen. Getting ready to get some moves underway for the women's semifinal route. We are really getting into familiar face territory. If you watch these competitions or have watched them for the last couple of years, she won team trials in 2025, was 9th at nationals in 2024, been competing on the World Cup circuit, has a best result of 15th in the lead discipline at a World Cup that was in Salt Lake City in 2025.
She's just motoring through the bottom section. She looks really calm and good.
She does look really calm. I honestly, knowing her style of climbing, I feel like she will like the punchy moves. She's also really good at bouldering, and I feel like jumping is something that's moved up in her wheelhouse a lot. So I think as long as she gets back enough in those Wacos.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna guess during preview they talked about exactly what we just saw Kyra do in the roof. And by they, I specifically mean the athletes that have been competing. So preview is kind of awkward, right? Especially if you're newer. Potentially Evelyn didn't talk to somebody about that.
Right.
And some of the, they just don't know each other, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm assuming Adrian and Kyra talked, and they talked to Brooke, and, they've known each other for a while. So, not to say that people are purposely not talking to. It's just you got to go up to somebody and talk to them.
Yeah, for sure.
And,
and when you're 15 and
you might not. So she might have just been, I didn't see previews, but she could have been previewing by herself and not really known what to do up there.
Oh, Adrian going for a different method here. She looked at the campus.
I know. Took the time to look at the campus. On the right of your screen, For the men, Declan Osgood, another familiar face in those opening moves. Adrian looking really good here.
Yeah.
Kyra definitely looked a little more flustered.
Adrian's got a little knee bar in there.
I think Kyra did that too. She did not do this part though. Adrian's taking
That's
a second
bold.
to rest.
Knee barring against those volumes. They're like brand new and super rough.
She's like, oh, it's fine. Things are getting exciting here. We're getting higher up on this women's route. See if Adrian can get some more moves, taking a second to look
Check
at the
the time,
clock.
yeah.
She's got plenty of time, not even halfway through her allotted time. Declan being mindful with all his foot placements as he's going to get ready to get into that first jump for the men. Which it's kind of cool. It's like a little jump, but it's fun that we've seen it done so many different ways. Right hand, left hand, both hands. Then a left hand, both hand now. That's nice.
Choose your own
right,
adventure.
left. And Adrian just motoring through.
Yeah, it looks really good. I was talking to setters last night during turnover after they, made their tweaks and reran these routes. They broke this this overhung section for the women's into V7 to where Adrian was kind of resting, and then V7 to the lip, and then maybe V7 V8 to the top.
Woo, that's
So
a
after
lot
all
to
that
ask.
climbing, yeah.
And this is where being efficient in that opening section, not just with the placements, but also not stalling too much or getting your heart rate up too high. Ooh, this toe hook on the right for Declan. I like that method to get through. I've seen a lot of the men jump to that pinch, and he kind of just eliminated that foot cut. Which, one of those things where it's like, because he's executing well, it's fine. But like, oh no. But sometimes, I didn't mean it's fine, like he's for sure going to keep going. I just meant he made it through that part perfectly. That one was not my fault. But bummer, he looked so good. And he was so efficient with those foot placements. I feel like she was starting to get a little tired.
For sure.
She will be so pleasantly surprised when she sees the scores and realizes she just climbed so many more moves ahead of everybody else, and that this route has been pretty low scoring. Really good climbing from her. I feel like she's been on a really nice trajectory the last few years, kind of getting better and better each year and becoming one of those climbers to beat and one of those climbers that you're seeing in the final round so consistently in all the disciplines. So kind of that next generation of athletes that we'll hopefully see doing really well on the World Cup circuit. The World Climbing World Cup circuit, that is.
The WCWC.
In case you hadn't heard, you heard it here, not first, but you heard it here, that the IFSC has now changed their name to World Climbing. It was news to me as well until this year. So it happened in December. I was late to the party.
I'm having a hard time making an adjustment. It's hard to say World Climbing.
It is. Luckily, it's still World Cups, so we can just go with that. On the left of your screen, Khadija Magali Sulman, also known as KM. We will definitely be referring to her as KM because that's really what everyone calls her. Another younger athlete. Really exciting to see her and Evelyn be in this competition now. 15 years old. I remember them when they were literally pint-sized.
Yeah.
The very first CD festival KM was at.
Yeah.
Teeny tiny.
I set a lot of regionals for her when she was like a D.
'Cause California.
In California, yeah. And she would come, I think she started competing when she was like 7.
Oh, yeah.
And same with Annalise. Like they were tiny. And now they're like little adults competing here. It's weird.
It is kind of wild. We're having a little timer malfunction happening for KM, so they're just holding her for a second. But do not fear. We've got exciting things happening on the right side of your screen with Bryce Nix.
Another Texas boy. Well, technically he's from Louisiana.
But trains in Texas, right? Yeah, Shreveport, Louisiana, technically. And KM is now on the wall as well.
Something in that Dallas water. Breeding these kids.
Hey, whatever works.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people maybe don't know that, like, Alex Puccio and Daniel are both from Dallas region as well.
Daniel? No. Daniel's from Longmont, Colorado, but Alex
Puccio is for sure.
is from
I'm
McKinney.
sorry, yeah.
McKinney, Texas.
Right up the road. It's McKinney's Dallas.
Okay.
Basically. It's like a suburb.
I mean, I'm not from Dallas. I don't know. Bryce setting up for the jump here. He was 6th at 2025 team trials and 27th at 2024 nationals. So another one just getting more consistent. I love to see it. Love to see these younger athletes, 17 years old, get more consistent in these competitions. Really exciting just to see that next crop of athletes that are coming through.
Mm-hmm. Bryce is really, really capable, and Cam as well. They're both very,
Oh, yeah.
very,
They're-
very capable athletes.
Honestly, they're moving at a very similar pace right now, which is pretty interesting.
Considering, the timing difference.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
so
she
almost a
had to
minute
wait for
later.
the clock, and
Yeah.
they're both like kind of moving in the same kind of cadence. It's ballet-like right now, honestly. Just on their toes, slowly moving, efficiently.
Yeah, to your point about like the future, these kids are like, they're so young. Cam's what, 16?
She's 15.
15 years
She's not
old.
even
Yeah.
16.
Yeah, that's right. Because
Oof, easy.
and with experience and more reps under their belts, these kids are going to be amazing.
Oh yeah. Always so fun to see the sport grow. Oof.
Oh,
Just underestimated that hold a little bit, but really nice climbing from her. She's going to be much higher up in the standings than she's going to assume. So you can see she's definitely disappointed. This is one of the things, right? Especially coming from youth, I feel like, just because a lot of times the athletes are the ones who have performed well, they're getting a lot higher up on the wall.
Yeah.
They're not so used to a low scoring round. So like
Sure.
she really has no idea right now that she did so much better than she realizes.
Right.
So hopefully we'll see how the scores play out, and if we'll see her again. And Bryce already showing us that he is plenty capable. Getting into this Waco here. Teardrop, not really Waco. Oh no, just undershot. Was there another? It looks like there is another screw on the right side. But with that, we'll take a quick commercial break and be back with more climbing. Welcome back to USA Climbing's 2026 YETI National Championships. On your right, defending national champion in the lead discipline, Cruz Padilla. And on the left, Olivia Ma, already making her way through the opening section of the women's route. We've had some big things happen in the last 15 minutes. I feel like we've seen some more of the routes, which has been really exciting. Getting some athletes farther and farther up on the wall. Will we see a top? Only time will tell. There's still many Olympians to come out, so we never know.
Anything's possible.
Anything is possible. Like I said, Cruz is the defending national champion, so exciting to see him competing here. We do not have the defending national champion in the lead discipline competing, Melina Costanza. She will be in the Boulder event, but she is not doing lead, so the title is up for grabs, which is actually really exciting to not have the national champion in the women's field here. Now we have some previous national champions competing though, so we'll have to see if we get a new one at this event. Both Cruz and Olivia looking pretty smooth through these lower sections. They've been proving to be difficult enough to kind of raise your heart rate before getting to the really difficult sections of the route. which is kind of why we've seen a lot of lower falls, unfortunately. These weight goes for the women.
Yeah, Olivia was looking really good, and now she looks a little uncertain.
Yeah, she's
Going,
like, wait
"Oh,
a
God."
minute. I don't like that as much as I thought I would. I think, too, weight goes often. You're like, oh, it's good.
It's going to
You
be
know?
a jug, yeah.
Like, you don't think, oh, it might not be that good, and I have to get really deep into it, and the dual text might spit me off.
Yeah, I mean, those holds are really like grabbing like slopy, like sloper jugs. I mean, they're not
Yeah,
aimed at it
that's-
really at all.
It's like not until they get to that third one, I think. The third one seems to be a little better because we've seen a few of the women get there and kind of be able to relax and take a moment. But yeah, you're just like, you're never releasing your grip in any way, right?
No.
You're being engaged the whole time, and I think it's unexpected.
Yeah, for sure. And I think they maybe are letting their body swing out a little bit, which is like
Yeah.
a natural thing to do when you jump to a hole in the roof. And they really need to like core up and hold the tension.
Little slip there for Cruz, but was looking really good in this section, like standing on his feet, taking little shakes. Looks like he still has a lot left in the tank. Right into that
Oh, no
not
360.
yeah, just gonna
Interesting.
climb right through it, no problem.
That's the third method we've seen.
Yeah.
The match and go, and then the
Ooh.
spin around. And, oh no.
Wow, it looked like he like was kind of testing the pinch and undershot it and then slipped on it. That's a
Yeah.
bummer.
With those, you mentioned earlier, the nature of the feet on a lot of these routes are like if they are there, they're really bad and they're really slippy. And so the second you pull up on that hold, you're taking tension out of the foot. I think that's what happened there. He kind of went up for the hold, and then his foot came out because he didn't have any
Yeah,
weight
and
on
it pulled him down.
Right.
Not the performance he would have wanted, but he's not out of the running for finals yet just because it's been so low scoring. But would have expected to see him get a little bit farther. But mistakes happen.
Yeah, as it
especially-
stands right now, he would probably be in on countbacks because the majority of the men have.
Yeah, and he's actually currently only tied with Austin Wrights. They both are at 29 plus right now, so luckily that he's not in like a 5-way tie or something. They're actually the 30 plus tie is bigger. On the left of your screen, we have Zoe Yi, another familiar face, 5'3" plus 2, one of the shorter athletes in this competition. Not the shortest, but on the shorter side. She was 5th at team trials in this event. And she was 5th at team trials in the lead discipline. She was 4th at this event in 2024.
Another athlete that's been making waves over the last couple of years, like
Yeah.
really showing up.
Yeah,
getting better
starting
and
in
better.
like 2022.
Yeah.
Like, I think she's been in finals 2022, 2023, 2024 for the lead event. And then in team trials as well, but that's not nationals. So yeah, we'll see if she can get back in there. Getting some international experience as well.
You got
Which has
Nathaniel
been
getting on
exciting.
here.
Yes, Nathaniel Coleman, Olympian Nathaniel Coleman. He is back on our screens after a little hiatus from competition climbing. Obviously been doing some great things outdoors, but cool to see him back.
I was talking to him last night. He's really excited to make a push for LA 2028 and really excited to be back in competition in general.
And I like to see that he's deciding that lead is the pathway he wants to take.
100%.
Especially, it's honestly so full circle and really cool just because like lead is what won him silver in
Yeah.
Tokyo, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it like he was building his like development, I feel like, in lead that whole year, and it just like peaked at the perfect
Yeah, for
moment, and it was so incredible. And I think since then he's really like gained a confidence in lead. That's really cool. to
sure. Yeah,
see.
maybe he discovered something about like
Yeah.
his motor and how it works, right?
Yeah, always fun to have him back on the scene. I was going to say Zoe was looking a little indecisive there, but moving through this section, I feel like she does really good in those pressure situations where she feels uncomfortable, like just working through it to the next break. That break's kind of a generous word, I'd say. It's not really a break, but just that moment of exhale that the athletes are given on these routes. See what she can make with these weight goes.
Nathaniel easily with the jump.
Yeah, I was going to say nice pop with just the right hand for him. Unfortunately, the weight goes just took Zoe down.
Claiming another athlete.
Ugh. So it's just so hard when that happens, but there's
Yeah.
always going to be another comp.
Yeah. And I know the setters are sweating right now. Like they feel terrible about that. They don't want that to happen. It's it's not their goal by any means.
Yeah, the goal is to prepare the athletes and challenge them enough so that they can have success on the World Cup circuit and, hopefully have a shot of making the Olympics and all of that stuff. So the route setters are never against the climbers. They're always rooting for them.
Yeah, I think there's a misconception that we don't like the athletes.
Yeah, definitely not.
Not true at all.
We're just trying to help with their development and the honing of their craft.
Yeah, and
It's
we're
a group
humans.
effort.
We screw up a lot.
Who knows? Maybe one day it'll just be AI.
Oh.
Just kidding.
That's it.
I'm joking.
I'll be too old for it anyways. but
Yeah,
it
you don't have
won't
to worry about it. Nathaniel looking really good in the section, choosing to kind of. That's an interesting spot to go back. I feel like. I
Yeah.
mean, he is tall enough to make that span not be too crazy, but it's still a lot of pressure on the shoulders to go back and forth like that.
Smart.
And, yeah.
That's-
Almost for a second, it looked like he was going to match, right?
No, he's just smart. He just did the false match.
To save
Rather than
some
traveling that
energy.
hand,
Mhm.
7 feet, he only had to travel 3 feet twice.
Really nicely into that
Good
pinch. On the left of your screen, Annalise Van Honk. Oh, and with that, Nathaniel Coleman is off, but really nice climbing from him. We'll have to see if he makes it into the final as Annalise is moving into her opening moves of the lead semifinal, and we'll be back with all the action after this commercial break. Welcome back to USA Climbing's 2026 YETI National Championships. On the left-hand side of your screen, Annalise Van Hong is on the women's semifinal lead route. Working her way into these Wacos, we've seen a lot of the athletes, I feel bad to say underestimate. They're not really underestimating. They just really don't know that this next hold is so bad on this angle specifically, and they've popped out of it a few times, but really nice to see her stick that there. We have seen a few athletes get past this section. Currently, Adriana Kegel-Clark has gotten the farthest, so we'll see what Annalise can do. I like the body language she's giving us. Oh, other than that slip, hopefully she can keep it together here. That's really hard, though.
Really
Maybe,
stressed.
gosh. Jeez.
The foot in the Waco was kind of a good choice to get there, but I
Then
think it was holding him back
Yeah.
underneath the roof a little bit.
I think it's hard because there's that yellow foothold, I feel like, is where you want to go, but it's like if you slip like that, you weren't ready to kind of kick up, and you're not in that right position. So we'll see what happens with the scores. Not necessarily out of the running for finals right now, just because of how everyone's been performing on this route, but it's just always so hard when someone slips. It's not what you want to see. You want to see everybody be able to give everything. And
Yeah, you want to see the fight.
yeah, and knowing the level of athlete Annalise is, like, I feel like hopefully we get a chance to see her climb again. And also, because we have those extra quotas for the women, there's a possibility, depending on the standings, who ends up in that top 8, if the athletes who are considered NIT and not able to compete internationally due to age, we could be taking more than 8 people to finals. So that will also, that gives a little bit of padding, but it depends on if those athletes get in there. So
Yeah, I mean, looking at the scores right now, obviously they're not official, but if KM and Evelyn, with only 2 more climbers to go, we'll probably take 10 in the
yeah,
finals.
so that'll be a pleasant surprise for some of the women. On the right side of your screen, you have Ross Fulkerson, another very familiar face, and on the left-hand side, Ella Fisher is starting the opening moves. Wow, little slip there from Ross. Let's see if he can get it back together. He is one with the mental game. He's very serious about his prep and his mental fortitude, so that kind of a thing is not going to stress him out as much as some athletes will, because he works on it so hard. So
Yeah, you often find him meditating in the
yeah,
sun.
I love it. I
Yeah,
love
it's really
it.
cool.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's calming.
Yeah.
Not just for him, but for everyone else. I mean, if you see that, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
let's all relax a little bit. Setting by example.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting.
Wow.
It
That was
looks
fun.
really uncomfortable in the fingers.
It
but
looked, yeah.
hey.
My hand would have exploded, but
Yeah.
he made it look great. Good movement here. See, like, the recovery that he just had. Ella Fisher hesitating
that
a little bit on the
flexibility.
left side. Oof.
Ross
can
going for
see-
a bit of a different method there, getting balled up. A little
Yeah.
more
He does have,
security.
considering his height, he has
Incredible
really good flexibility. Yeah.
incredible.
Him and Kai Leitner,
Oh, no.
I feel like, really hold it down for the tall guys in terms of flexibility. Nice climbing from Ross.
Jesse too.
Oh, yeah,
Jesse's
Jesse
really
too. Yeah.
flexible,
You're right. Those three and their flexibility, they should teach a clinic.
Well, it's something, again, we're talking about like overcoming
Yeah.
heights, and that's something that the taller athletes, people
Exactly.
don't think about how tall athletes have to overcome things as well.
And I will say, like, some of the most successful taller athletes really have spent time on flexibility. Ella Fisher looking really good in these Wacos right now, which is
She
nice
used
to
that heel hook
see.
beta.
She did, and it worked. And clearly has that plan going with the feet first, so either was able to work that out with some other athletes or on her own during that observation period, but really good execution. This match is a little awkward.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the best move, but
If she can just
all right, it's working.
recover, right,
Yeah.
from something like that, then it's okay. Like, if she can take a moment here,
Yeah, the hold she's on now is
good.
basically a jug.
Yeah.
So
A jug after all of that. Which, I don't know, if you've ever done a climbing competition, and let's say the Boulder Red Point competition, and you've gotten to the hour 3 and no longer you can't hold on to jugs, like, imagine that on a route after
Yep.
all that climbing. Like,
Yep.
even if it's a jug, sometimes it's just no longer a jug.
yeah, I think a lot of people don't think about or give credit to how hard the climbing is and how good the holds can still be.
Yeah, and they can just feel like, I mean, you could give someone a ladder sometimes when they're that pumped and they
Yeah.
can't do anything. But Ella looking really good, like she's able to recover. She does have really good endurance.
Yeah.
On the right of our screen, we have Nathan Sato just taking a few moments. Remember, the athletes have 40 seconds to look at the route again and before they have to start their time. And then their 6-minute clock will start. Man, Ella's looking great.
Yeah. She's nearing the high point right now. Or she's actually might be matched at it.
Yeah, I think so. Really taking him so, like, very close to the head wall. We might see someone on the head wall.
Oh, here we go. That's the new high point.
Wonderful climbing from Ella Fisher. You can tell, though, she's like, oh no, I don't think that was enough. But we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be back with more action. Welcome back to USA Climbing's 2026 YETI National Championships. This is the lead semifinal, and we are getting down to our final athletes in the competition. So much climbing has happened. On the left of your screen, Brooke Rabatou, two-time Olympian Brooke Rabatou, just walked out to take a look at the semifinal route, which has been very challenging for the women. And Nathan Sato, on the right of your screen, is working his way through the men's semifinal route, getting to that little more difficult section that we've seen a lot of the men have trouble with, but he's looking really good right now, setting for that 360. We'll see if he does it that way. We've seen this move done so many different ways, and then yet again, another new way.
Interesting. Wow.
Worked out. A little bit of fun for the crowd there. We love when we see a little bit of personality. Oh no, a little slip. Honestly, could be okay still. We've seen a lot of men fall there, and we're likely going to have to go back to countbacks for some of those ties, so we'll have to see what happens with him. The way he did that 360 section looked a lot more taxing than we've seen. But when you do those kind of moves, there's only a small window of time to like commit to it, and then you're in it. So just gotta do it.
When you're dangling in the Mission Impossible position.
Yeah,
it's
what
time
else
to go.
does one do?
Yeah. What would Tom Cruise do?
Well, I don't think he'd be here, but I mean, for a non-climber, he does some pretty amazing things. Brooke Rabatou is the final woman in this lead competition to climb. This is her first time at nationals since 2019. She's been pre-qualified for team for the last, what is that, 7 years? Yeah.
That's insane.
So it's really fun to have her back here at this event. And she put on a great show with 2 tops yesterday in the qualification for the women. And yeah, it'll be fun to see what she does here today. Also, I think it's hard to remember, competitions and stats and stuff, but with all of her accolades, you'd think, oh yes, she's been national champion many times, but she's never been national champion. So it'd be really cool to see if that's a possibility to add to her amazing career.
I did not know that fact.
See?
That's cool.
You would just expect.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a silver medalist in the Olympics.
Right.
So, and she's won World Cups in the Boulder discipline. And many podiums. A little cruxy position there, but she's staying calm. See if she can figure out what she wants to do next. And on the right of your screen, we have Dylan Countryman stepping on to the men's semifinal. If you can hear the crowd at all, you might be hearing some people call him Bob. That is the name that is most often attributed to him, even though it's not his name on his birth certificate. But they like to call him Bob. Yeah, Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan Countryman. Another very familiar face, highly decorated athlete at the ripe young age of 19.
Yeah. Won his first national champion at 15?
Yeah. Which honestly is it's cool to see that happen, but then it's still a lot of pressure after that. And he's done a really good job, obviously performing really well at a lot of these national events and like getting into those World Cup events. But I think that there's not enough said about the mental fortitude and the stick-to-itiveness of someone who does, have one of those big moments so early, and then to stick to it and go through. I mean, I'd say he's had some years that have been a little harder after such a huge moment and all that pressure, and I think he's done a really good job handling that. And so we always love to see him back in every round of competition. Brooke looking really good over here. Recovering from that little hiccup back earlier really well. And trying to get in. I think now that puts her into
That
should be the high point now. Very challenging route for the women. It really has not let up.
Yeah.
And
The setter's quote said, "We want to see Brooke fight."
Well, we are seeing Brooke fight.
She's fighting right now,
She's still calm, but you can tell she's getting a little bit fatigued. So now positions like this, though, are, then she really does get a lot back in these kind of positions. Now,
Which is crazy.
I would not,
No way.
but she can, and it's really cool to see that.
It's cool to watch her take the load off of her hand with like that weird clamp she was just doing
Yeah.
in a roof.
And Brooke has been living in Paris for the last few months, which has been really cool. A cool change for her. Been doing some kind of local comps over there to prepare.
She's looking really good. She does look like she's putting in some effort, but she looks really smooth.
Dylan setting up for this 360. We'll see how he approaches this part. Don't worry about the clock on your screen. The athletes have the other running clock on the field of play. So her time, it's fine. She's got not 5+ minutes, but she's got enough time still. And they have a clock on the field.
No.
Oh, that dynamic move
He
to the
rushed the
big
heel placement a
teardrop.
little
Yeah,
bit.
he just like, and you know, it's so easy when you're in the flow to like look at your foot and then place it and then realize you looked away just a second too early. Brooke is approaching those final holds. We didn't think a top would be possible, but maybe we'll see it. That foot hop over. Wow.
This
So
next sequence
impressive.
is pretty sportsy.
Well, if anyone can do it. Beautiful climbing from Brooke Rabatou. So exciting to see someone on the head wall.
Yeah.
Final athlete out. We will see her in the final. Barring any appeals and whatnot. We'll have the final standings later, but really exciting to see her. And I hope everyone enjoyed seeing her on your screen for the first time in about 7 years. 29. I can't do math.
2019,
Math
yeah.
is really not. I know it's
anywhere
2019,
between 6
but
to 7 because we're really early in 26.
okay,
you
yeah.
know?
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think it's technically 6. But
What, you know?
math is not my strong suit.
It could be 7 because I think back then we were still doing nationals in February.
No ideas. I have no
I
idea.
don't know. I can tell
A
you.
quick look at the top of that route again. The first thing you'll see was everything is very shiny, so just makes everything a little harder to grab. And
I'm
with
sure
that, we have another Olympian coming out, Colin Duffy, getting ready to start the men's semifinal. Now, he's competed a little more recently in this event, but still, it's been, I think, since 2022 for him. So still a while. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say that I'm sure the setters are relieved to see Brooke go up there, but also still really disappointed about that bottleneck position.
I mean, there's only so much we can do as humans.
But back to the people that are competing in these events for the first time in a long time, you know, like from a setting perspective and talking to the setting teams and as a setter myself, it's really cool to have this caliber of athlete here, not only for us but also for the athletes to like see
What's possible.
What's possible, yeah. What it looks
what
like.
the
to
next
compete
step
against them,
is.
Yeah.
And again, that's why I kind of threw out that stat too about, Brooke not ever being national champion, because it's like with all of her experience and everything she's done, her incredible career, like you would just assume that. And it's like, it doesn't always work that way, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you won't still have a big career. I feel like
For sure.
athletes, especially when they're younger, can get in their head like, oh, I didn't hit this mark or that mark or this one. And it's like, it doesn't really matter. It's all a journey. You're going to get to a place regardless of having those stats sometimes. So just keep with it and like you can still do big things. So it's really nice to kind of see that in action.
Hard work pays off.
It does. Some would say hard work's sometimes better than natural talent.
Yeah.
Just because you have to fight for it more and it doesn't come easy. Talent will only take you so far, right?
Yeah.
That's the saying.
Yeah. Talent helps.
It helps, but like huge success, there's always hard work involved.
Yeah, for sure.
Colin taking a moment to assess. Another one of those athletes who's always been really good at both the boulder and the lead discipline. So when the combined came around with the first Olympics and then now the boulder lead combined, and now we're having 3 separate disciplines come LA 2028. But I think he'll be him and Brooke specifically, I think there's a good chance we might see them still go for 2 disciplines because they're just so good at both of them. And if it's possible, they might try it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see like tactically who decides to do what and like what the schedule looks like. I think that'll probably, I would assume, would influence a lot.
Well, and the good thing about it too is like you can prep to do both for a while, and then the minute it feels like too much, you can just pivot to one.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Yeah.
I think having the ability to possibly do both is nice because then like it's like you have a greater chance of making the team. Or,
Yeah.
qualifying for the Olympics, I guess I should say, not necessarily. Because they have to obviously make the team first, but the U.S. team for USA climbing. A little back and forth, like we've seen a few of the athletes do. Oh, going with that same method.
Whoa.
Just chilling on
All
a
right.
one arm.
He did like a one
Give him a hard
arm
one.
and kind of a cartwheel at the same time.
All about getting. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. We've
Yeah.
mostly seen people be successful by getting that left foot out. I like stopped my breath for a second because I got nervous about going off that left foot, but
Well, Colin
confidence.
is so strong, not just
He
like
is.
like a upper body that people think, but like that core tension to keep that foot was remarkable. He's not
Oh,
the
yeah.
tallest athlete, and to keep that foot on that sloper as he made that move was
Really
pretty
impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tension. Yeah, 5'7" with a +3. Not the tallest, but like if you knew him when he was little, like
Yeah.
you're like, wow,
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
tall.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, he's grown
we
a
weren't
lot.
sure like where that was gonna end up. So it's great height for him. You know, yesterday's round, he climbed well, but like there were some bobbles, so it's really nice to see him really performing well right now on this
Yeah,
route that's been
I mean-
so challenging for so many athletes. I mean, he is just a few holds from the top, so really cool to see him have turned it around for this round. I mean, again, not like he climbed poorly at all yesterday. It's just, it's always hard when there's like these little things that happen that feel like they could have been controllable. So
Yeah, I mean, he looks
he
like
looks
he's just executing.
on right
Yeah.
now.
Oh,
Oh, that was so hot. He was like, no, what happened?
I think he just went a little low on that crimp and then couldn't readjust.
With that, we're going to go to a quick commercial break and be back with more climbing. Welcome back to USA Climbing's 2026 YETI National Championships. We are finishing up the lead semifinal, and we have already finished the women's competition. They were moving a little faster than the men, even though there were 26 of them. And now we are going to have our final two athletes for the men. We just saw Colin Duffy, and we have another Olympian coming out, Jesse Grouper. And after that, we'll have one more climber, and then we will be wrapping up the semifinal. Can't believe it's already basically done. Exciting to see some progress on both the routes. Colin Duffy just was a couple moves from the top of the men's semifinal, and Jesse Grouper is definitely capable of getting back up there as well. So we'll have to see how he does with all of these. Honestly, like the jumpiness in this route, I don't think is, because sometimes jumps with Jesse, he doesn't like them as
Yeah,
much, but I
yeah.
think these ones are really manageable, and that 360 I think is really in his wheelhouse.
For sure. I think there's some like movement styles that may be hesitant for him, or he may hesitate on, but he's very capable of
Yeah.
taking this thing to the top. It's going to get pretty exciting between him and Sergey, and
Yeah.
kind of Colin just barely fumbled that hole before the top of the on his go, and kind of setting the tone, and the pressure's on for Jesse. Not that he knows the
Yeah.
pressure's on,
He
but
might see some quick draws swinging a little bit,
Yeah.
which is always a little bit of an indicator, but also it's like your choice to pay attention to that or not. Like
For sure.
not every athlete really I mean, it's always better to focus on yourself,
yeah,
but some athletes might look at that more than others.
I think the more seasoned athletes for sure are that gets less in their head.
Yeah.
And I think some of the younger athletes probably see that draw swing, and then they're like, uh-oh, I have to do that.
A little bobble there with the foot placement for Jesse, but really good recovery. Now, there is that section where he is pretty tall, 5'11 +1, so like the box is a little small in the section coming up, so he could be a little uncomfortable in some of them, but some of the movements, but he might, as long as he like stays calm and again, super good flexibility,
Yeah.
so he should be able to like work through things with use of his hips and whatnot.
Yeah, his ability to turn his knees out and keep his center of gravity
Yeah.
really close to the wall is remarkable.
Very impressive.
He looks a little hesitant here. Okay, back on track.
I do find, and this might be a hot take, but I feel like the farther into the route he gets, the more comfortable he
Yeah,
looks, just as a
100%.
climber in general. Like,
Mhm.
I think that's kind of he's always a little apprehensive at the beginning.
Mhm.
And maybe that's because the beginning can sometimes be body positions and movements that he isn't as comfortable with. And then the meat of the route is more in his comfort zone. Really nice, right on to
Pretty casual.
full lock
Yeah.
off too. We've seen a lot of the men kind of like hang it a little more, like dangle a little more, but he was like, no.
Yeah. Well, when
I'm
you have that
holding
much
onto
more
this.
length in the pendulum,
Yeah.
you know the swing's gonna be harder to hold, so you might as well kill it as quickly as possible.
Yeah,
But
can be a little awkward. Already looking at the clock.
yeah.
You gotta be mindful.
Yeah.
Sometimes people have watches clipped onto their harness. There was a time where people like wore watches, but I mean, I feel with the way holds are made now, I feel like that can be a little risky
Yeah,
because of
for
your
sure.
wrists and whatnot, and needing to like have skin on
Yeah.
hold. But it is nice that those clocks they're on the ground and they look up, so they're very easy to see for the athletes if they can take a moment to scan down at it.
It just feels weird climbing something on your wrist. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, I agree. But people did it for years.
Yeah.
Like you would see, especially lead climbers, and I'd be like, ugh, that feels awkward.
Yeah.
And I'd be scared, like, what if I have to wrap something? And then like Velcro's coming off. I don't know.
Or just got caught on something.
Yeah, there's all these crazy things that could happen. Yeah, this is the section that's a little
Yep.
more bunchy, but again, with Jesse's flexibility, he should be able to work his way through it nicely. Easy to that pinch. Seen a few of the athletes go static to that, but most of them, I feel like, have kind of hopped to it like that.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are familiar enough with that hold that they know it's,
Mhm.
you know,
Not the
it's not
best,
great,
not the
but
worst.
you can go get it. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice control. Yeah, you don't often see him swing out of whack. It's always like if 2 points come off, it's quite controlled.
Yeah, back to the height thing again. I think like
Mhm.
when you're that tall, and not that he's super tall, but
But taller
5'11",
sided.
yeah, on the taller side and with long arms, like having to kill swings and control them and be aware of what's happening with your body is super important.
Yeah. I know the dimensions are just so interesting for climbing and climbers, right? Like, it's not just like height, it's also wingspan, like how you have to kind of size up movements and jump. Oh,
Oh, also going this way.
yeah. Who did
Ross-
that?
Ross
Ross
did
did
that
that
as well,
earlier.
yeah.
And you know what? They're similar heights
Yep.
and wingspan too. So
For
maybe
sure.
that's like part of it. They're like, oh, I can grab it this way. It's fine.
Mhm.
You definitely expect him to put the left foot there.
Yeah. Here's where that flexibility comes into play.
Yeah.
Ross did the.
Ooh,
Oh
no.
no.
Just slipped out of it. I was going to say he's like so good with heel hooks
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But it looked like it just kind of caught and slipped in a weird way.
Those holds are on upside down.
Oh, yeah.
So like if anybody knows that hold, it is a good pinch,
Hmm.
but it is on upside down.
I will say too, because so many of the holds you guys are using for these competitions, they're new, right? And
Mhm.
they have like a slipperiness to them that's different from a hold that's been used a bit more. Mainly like volumes, I feel like, but sometimes holds too.
Yeah.
I mean, you
they're-
guys obviously forerun and whatnot.
Yeah. But just like the different grits, different manufacturers, depends on where they're coming from. There's a lot of factors there.
Exactly. We have one more climber to come to end the semifinal round, but we're going to go to a quick commercial break and be right back. Welcome back to USA Climbing's 2026 YETI National Championships. This is the lead semifinal, and we are down to our last climber, our last male athlete to come out. The women are already done with the competition. Sergey Lochno, first place at team trials in this discipline, and at 2024 Nationals, he was third. Been getting really comfortable in that finals round of competition. Always a really exciting climber to watch. One thing I love about Sergey is, well, he always tries really hard.
Yeah, he fights really
He
hard.
fights
It's really
better
cool.
than anybody. But he also, the way he chooses to interpret beta sometimes is really interesting. And he gets himself into positions that you're like, oh my gosh. And then
And then
he
somehow
gets
gets out of
through
it.
them.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
so cool. So I always feel like he keeps it really exciting for everybody. So he's a great one to end on today.
He also has like a young Sharma vibe.
Oh, you're so
You know, like
you're
he's
right.
like the classic climber. He's like kind of laissez-faire about things.
Yeah. He also, I think last Nationals he had hiked up a mountain and slept in his car, and then drove 15 hours to the comp or something.
Yeah.
It was something ridiculous like that.
I think he slept in a tent at team trials in 22.
Yeah, he's always doing something. And super fun athlete to watch, and obviously a great competitor.
And if you put a crimp in his hand, he's just
Oh my gosh, yeah. A little bit confused on how he wants to go to this hole, though. Like you were saying, though, this opening section's a little awkward. So,
Yeah, interesting to see
Gotta
him
take
get
it.
kind of stuck here a little bit.
yeah,
Oh, there we go. All
yeah,
right.
he just a little hesitant. I'm honestly, I didn't know what to say. It was making me very, very, very nervous.
He's back on track, though. He's going.
He's also one that if mishaps happen, he holds his composure really well and doesn't get too flustered,
Mm-hmm.
and is able to recover nicely.
I think his overall climbing capacity is so high
Mm-hmm.
that those little hiccups don't necessarily affect him, and he can just no big
Just
deal.
jump and swing
Yeah,
and be fine after being unsure about movement.
yeah.
Just taking a few moments to check out the rest of the route. When they come out for observation, they can bring binoculars and stuff, but honestly, not many people choose to, I feel for the most part. So when you're on this part of the wall, now you're getting a different perspective because you're on the wall of what's coming up next, but it's also nice to maybe get a better look at some of the holds that you might have not been able to see as well from the ground.
Yeah, it's definitely a good strategy and good tactic from the competitor's perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
They probably have a good idea what the holds are. And if they probably see jibs a little bit from the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're when you're closer, you really have an understanding. Oh, that's actually pretty good. I can go get that. Or oh, that's
Yeah.
not as good as I thought it was going to be.
Or, oh, there's a screw on there and I didn't realize it
Yeah, I didn't
because
even
it's
see
the
it.
same
Yeah.
color
Yeah.
as the hold that it's on.
Yeah. Especially after it's been climbed on by
Yeah.
23 other people and things get chalky and
Yeah.
there's brush break in the middle, but it doesn't always uncover everything.
I was going to say, though, there isn't a brush break for this round of competition, just for the qualification. So
No, there was a brush
oh, there
break
was
for
a
here.
brush?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
never mind.
Anything
Oh, yeah,
over
you're right. There
anything
was. It
over
was in the
22.
middle.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah, anything over 22.
More coffee.
So we have an
doesn't-
interesting method
okay.
here. Okay.
Nice. Through it. Ooh, we can breathe.
Yeah, my shoulder would have ripped out of place.
Oh, my gosh. It's so
wild.
funny how you don't think about those things until you hit 30 and older. I'm just saying it doesn't start to happen until you're 30, and then you have to slightly listen to it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then it, gets progressively worse.
And then 40 happens.
And then 50.
So we're looking really good.
Chose to, I don't think he did that heel hook either. He just kind
No,
of
he-
climbed right through it. Nice. Really fun to see him up here. He has been a little more indecisive, I feel
Yeah.
than normal, but that's totally fine. Just interesting.
Oh, this is a little Oh
A
boy.
little tired. Got to get that clip into another pinch. I feel like if he can get to this next hole, though, he can take a second. It's pretty good, right?
Oh.
I mean, pretty good for him.
Yeah.
Great climbing from Sergey Lokhno. Likely he's going to feel like he could have done more, but he'll be happy to see the standings and see that he did definitely enough to
Yeah.
get into the final. We're going to do a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with the standings.
For me, motivation comes from the chance to go faster and faster. I find speed pretty addicting.
The power of we is all for one. It's all for you. It's always there for you. It completes your circle. It says you've got a team even when you're out there alone. And with Intermountain Health in your circle, you'll always have the care you need to live the healthiest life possible. That's the power of we. Intermountain Health.
You don't get a fire in your belly with a boring breakfast. You gotta light that sucker up with the good stuff. Kodiak stuff. Whole grains and a whole lot of protein stuff. Eating hearty sets the table for epic days ahead. Dig in and you'll see. It's wild what you and a real Kodiak breakfast can do. Proud sponsor of USA Climbing.
Out here. We play different. We don't play with whistles or referees. We play with adrenaline and euphoria. We play roughhouse with failure. We don't play games out here.
Welcome back to USA Climbing's 2026 YETI National Championships. We are finished with the climbing in the semifinal round. It was an exciting round. We were a little worried for a moment, but we found some people getting up into that head wall, which was really exciting to see at the end of competition. Definitely difficult routes for the athletes. Gonna test them really well, and excited to see what happens later in the final. So let's take a look at the women's standings after the round. These are not final results yet. There's always an appeals window. But right now we have Brooke Rabatu, Ella Fisher, Adriana Kiko-Clark, Kyra Condi, Evelyn Orton, Annalise Von Hong, K.M. Sulman, Alexandra Inglaterra. Those are the 8, but we are going to take 2 more. Maya Madeir and Zoe Yee for now. Remember, this is not final results, but because we have some national team ineligible NTI athletes, so they can't compete on the World Cup circuit. So we're taking 2 extra people. Olivia Ma, Quinn Mason, Lila Kotke, Yelia Southern, Adelaide Scott, Francesca Hain, Ellie Gorison, Isabel Case, Nora Small, Annika Shoemaker, Helen Stevens, Chloe Ho, Isabella Orner, Kestrel Pekevich, and Angeli Chia. Those are all the athletes that competed in the semifinals, so we'll be taking 10 for the women. Remember, after the appeals window, we'll have the final results, and we'll be back for finals at 6 p.m. And we're going to go to a quick commercial and be back with the men's standings. Welcome back to USA Climbing's 2026 YETI National Championships. The climbing is done. We've gone through the women's standings. Now we're going to go through what the men's standings are. We have that appeals window open, but for right now, you have Colin Duffy, Sergey Lochno, Ross Fulkerson, Bryce Nix, Dylan Countryman, Nathaniel Coleman, Vale Everett, Jesse Grouper, Nathan Monty, Brendan Beauchamp, Ami Agato, Cruz Padilla, Austin Wrights, Jaden Perez, Nathan Santos, Sebastian Durand, Quinn O'Francia, Austin Fuhrer, Hugo Hoyer, Declan Osgood, Ellis Ernsberger, Ahad Athter, Aiden Harris, Chris Sharma. Those were your 24 men competing today. We will take 8 for the men to the finals later tonight at 6 p.m. Please come back for our show. It's going to be exciting. I'm sure the climb is going to be insane. Jeremy, thank you so much for joining me. This was so much fun to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thanks to all of our sponsors, Intermountain Health, YETI, The North Face, and everyone else that sponsored us. Those are all, and our holds partners, of course, 360, Holds, Artline, Blocks, Blue Pill, Cheetah, EP, Expression, Flat Hold, Rock City, Simple, Squadra, Super, Technic, Vezi. Thank you, everyone. We can't wait to see what's in store for the finals. Remember, national champion to be crowned. Come back 6 p.m. Eastern. See you there.